I'm super happy with it. It's gonna last a long time. Cost me nothing, was fun to build, and it's going to make my girls super happy. Hi, Carl here from selfsufficienthub.com, and today I'm going to be building a chicken trailer. So it was my birthday a few days ago, and I've been gifted this trailer from my father-in-law. He brought it here on the back of another trailer, so I'm guessing he didn't think it was really roadworthy anymore, so it doesn't have to be a particularly good one. And he also brought with him, of which I'm very grateful, lots of scrap wood and bits and bobs. Now, I actually started building this about half an hour ago, so it only just occurred to me now to make a video. But as you can see, it's just a regular trailer, and this is the tailboard, which is going to be the door in and out. And all I've done so far is just attached these two sides with some salvage ply boards. So you can see from the outside here, I've just drilled some holes through here to fix it together, and I've also drilled some holes through this bit of metal framework at the bottom, which I haven't yet, but I will fix up through so that it's all nice and secure. It's going to be a little bit wobbly at the moment, but yeah, so that's the sides. And I've got all sorts of bits and bobs lying around here. We've got some old corrugated sheets that we're going to use for the roof, and the plan will be that we can have this so that we've got a mobile chicken house for quite a large flock of hens that we can run electric fencing around. So the next stage for me, because I want to house quite a lot of chickens in here, we're going to make sure that we've got plenty of ventilation. So we're going to have a ventilation slot at either end, above the door and above the far end. So the next stage for me is to get the other side up and or build a roof frame. So I've put a board along this side here, but as you can see, I've left a gap at the bottom. I'll explain that in a second. And I've also got the sides now set out for where the roof's going to go. The roof's got a slope on it, and I've made the high point where the entrance is, so that it's really easy to get in and out. And then I'll put some cross beams across that outline of the roof there that'll take our corrugated sheets. And so that's the roof pretty much, you know, taken care of. And then we will just patch this in with some more ply. I've put one of the strips up for our ventilation at that end, and obviously we'll fill in either side of it. And we're going to put another one this end. We're going to have a fixed bit here just for simplicity, or are we? I don't know, I'm making it up as I go along. The thing is, the tailboard's really secure, really strong and heavy, so I don't really want to add too much additional weight by extending it. But if I think I can get away with it, maybe I will. Maybe I'll extend that with another piece of board so the whole thing comes out. But the other slight concern I have if I do that is it going to be strong enough? Because effectively it'll be coming out here and all the weight will be on the new piece that I put on, because that bit will be taking the weight of the tailboard that we walk up and down to clean out. So I'm in two minds about that. I'll see how I feel when I get there. I suppose what I could do to mitigate that issue is I could put a chock across here so that it's supported off the ground a bit further up. But like I say, I'll see how I feel about that further on. And then this bit here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to make our nesting boxes. So it's going to sit out from the trailer here. At least that's the plan. So the only thing I'm not certain about yet is this mechanism here, which obviously obstructs that insofar as it being a super easy plan. I'm not sure yet, I haven't made my mind up. But yeah, so that's, you know, to be sorted as I go. So obviously I'll show you where we are in you know, another little while. Hello, my lovely. Okay, about 20 minutes later then, and we've got most of our shell up, and we've built the roof shell. So the uprights don't need to be particularly big, because when you think about it, all the weight is going to be bearing straight down in the direction of gravity onto the metal frame down there. So these 2x2s are absolutely fine. I've gone for 3x2s on these side beams because they're spanning a little bit further, although I probably could have got away with 2x2s there, but I don't know, I think they would have bowed. So I went for 3x2s there, and then 2x2s again across the middle, just because again it's a small span, plus we've effectively got 4 of them spread out all the way along. So I've just thrown one of the roof sheets up. I'm just offering it up to see whereabouts I'm going to cut my 3x2s, and yeah, so that'll do. That'll tell me what I need to know. So I'm going to leave a little overhang either end. I think it's important this end, I want enough overhang that it's going to stop the worst of the weather getting in through this ventilation window. And I'm already aware at this end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little canopy over this ventilation window. So as you can see, I opted to go for leaving the tailboard as it was, and I put a fixed piece up here. And the reason I made that decision is because I needed something, basically a solid piece of timber there, so that I could diagonally, or it's doing the job of a diagonal brace from corner to corner and from corner to corner across that way, across this piece of ply. So it's basically strengthening this whole side up and that whole side to stop them being flimsy that way. I've attached this just with some staples. So you see here, this can just swing up, and then because I've attached it a few inches below the bottom, when the tailboard comes up, it comes to about here. So you've got the ventilation and it's held in place by the tailboard, but if we do need some extra headroom or whatever, if we're getting things in or out, we can just flip that up and tie it up out of the way. So that's where we are at the moment, and I'll show you some more in a bit. I think I'm going to stop now. I'm going to milk the goats, and then I'll get back to it either tonight or tomorrow morning. So I've had dinner, I've come back out, been out for maybe another 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes, and made a bit of progress. So thrown the roof on, which is just those corrugated sheets that I told you. Haven't fixed them yet, I've literally just thrown them up there. But down this side, it looks a bit Heath Robinson, because A, it's not finished yet, and B, all I'm using is just the scrap material. I've got this side pretty much all boxed in, apart from that little bit at the top. So all I've got left to do with regards to the actual filling in is this bit at the side, and then the same again the other side. The other thing that I really wanted to show you is what I've done for nesting boxes. So we had some old crates lying around that I can't remember where they came from, but these things here, and from experience we know that our hens, they love using them as nesting boxes. So we're going to put a little bit of straw in each of these, and this is where they're going to be laying most of their eggs, in these three. We're going to make the bottom bit underneath just as accommodating for them, so that they feel nice and snug in there. So these are going to be the two areas that they lay. Across the top here, I'm going to build a little shelf. The reason for that being, we're going to put perches across for them to sleep on. And if I put a shelf here, I don't have to worry about droppings going into the nesting boxes. So if they use the space as I would expect them to, then the eggs will always be nice and clean when we come and collect them. And they're going to be quite happy in there. They're going to have lots and lots of space outside. The whole point of building this is it's going to be movable, so we can move them onto some lovely fresh grass every 2 weeks and have an electric fence right around the outside of their house. So looking from the outside now, again, it's a bit rough and ready, but bear in mind all I've done is I've used the scrap material. So this here is going to be the door. That's where they come in and out. And then here is going to be where we collect the eggs from. So we're going to pull this one out, collect the eggs, and also have access down below if they're laying down there. And then the next one, we'll just slide along and come out the same. The reason I've had to do that is because when the trailer door is shut, this up here is what holds it in place. So I've kind of had to come up with a system where I could take all these out by sliding them along in behind this rail, because the door's quite heavy. So I don't want to have to take the door up and down all the time. You know, once it's in situ, the door will stay up. It's just for us to clean them out or go in there if we need to do something. Yeah, we're getting there now. So next time I speak to you, it'll probably be pretty much complete. Okay, I'm just going to start packing up for the night because it's getting dark, just coming up to 9:30. The next time you see this will be in a few seconds, but for me will be in a few days, because I won't have time to work on this tomorrow now. Just to give it a good clean out really and get some get some straw in there, ready for the girls, and put it where it's going, get the electric fence up all round it. I'd like to throw a coat of paint on it and make it look a little bit prettier. At the moment, it's very, very rustic. As being quite generous to myself, calling it rustic. It basically, you know, it looks like what it is, which is just a pile of junk that's been thrown together. And, you know, that's okay. If you want something that's going to be amazing in terms of its functionality, like this really is going to be, and you want to pay nothing for it, then, you know, something's got to give. And in this case, it's the appearances, and it's, you know, it's going to look a bit tatty for now at least. But like I say, I'll throw a coat of paint on it, and I think you'll be surprised by how well it looks. But whether or not that makes it into this video is highly doubtful, because the chances of me getting to the stage of actually being able to, you know, have the time to paint it and make it look pretty, we're probably talking weeks away, and I don't know that I'm going to sit on this video for that long. So chances are you're not going to see that. But anyway, in the meantime, if you find these videos valuable, please do subscribe to our channel. You can also find our podcasts, Self-Sufficient Hub podcast. We drop 3 times a week on the podcast. And like I say, make sure you subscribe so that you're not missing out on videos like this. Hi. So here we are, it's chicken moving day. We've got the electric fence up around the outside. It's not turned on yet, and we are in the process of moving the flock that used to live in this house into the trailer, which is now finished. We'll show you around it in a bit. So we're going to have a look inside shortly. I just wanted to show you, this is the setup. So obviously we've got the trailer, which we can move around, and then the hens are protected by the electric fence, and that's powered by this car battery and charged by that little solar panel or trickle charger. And the fact that they've got this big wide expanse between the edge of the fence and wherever the foxes are going to creep in from is also a huge advantage. But let's have a look in here. This is really what I want to show you. This is where they'll be going at night, and as you can see, we've got 3 nice big perches here for the girls. Now, so that we can clean it out easily, these perches, they just come straight out like that, so I can lean them up to the side and get right the way through, right to the back. They all come out, all 3 of them. So that's the first thing. They're really easy to do. Look, you just notch out some timber and they slot in there. So that's the perches. And then also down here, and they've only been in here a couple of hours, but they've already found them by the looks of it. We've got our nesting boxes. So these are where they're gonna lay their eggs. And the trailer door, after the first day or 2, is actually going to be left shut. We've got it open for now because the girls aren't used to it, so it's going to give them a chance to find it and find where they can get to and where they can't. But this is going to be the door which they get in and out of. So we're going to open this in the morning and close it at night. Quite important as well is this shelf that I built, and the idea of this is they're going to roost up here at night, and it's to keep the nesting boxes clean. So in an ideal world, if everything's working correctly, really your eggs should be really, really clean whenever you collect them. You shouldn't ever have to clean them up. So there you go, that's our chicken trailer. I'm super happy with it. It's gonna last a long, long time. Cost me nothing, was fun to build, and it's going to make my girls super happy. If any of you have been following me for a little while, and you'll know that we really struggled this winter with the weather, and the legacy of that is we've not been able to move our hens quite as much as we would have liked. You can see some bare patches there. So the bottom paddock now, in a few days, I've reseeded that. In a few days, it's going to be ready for the goats to go down there, and then I'm going to be able to reseed all of the bare patches in this top paddock. So fingers crossed, in a few weeks we should be fully recovered from the winter. And as always, make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss content like this in the future. If you find these videos valuable, there's several ways you can support us, the easiest of which is to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you leave a comment down below, press that like button, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next one. Cheers.